Hello, my name is Julian Zugg and I am the International English Director for MINTS International Seminary. MINTS International Seminary is a unique way of providing flexible, accessible and affordable education without compromising the academic or theological standards for ministers throughout the world. 90% of the world's ministers have no formal educational training. This affects their ability to be able to work in the churches, and also, of course, affects the ability of the churches themselves to function properly. MINTS provides a unique solution whereby we combine both local operatives with the MINTS system coming from Miami in Florida, and that way we can develop good quality theological education worldwide. There are three integral parts to the MINTS strategy. The first is we develop localized centers. Localized centers exist throughout the world. We find one particular man who is a skilled coordinator. We use them to help to set up the system and the local administration for MINTS purposes. They are involved with deciding when the center will meet, how many people will be involved, and when and how we will teach them in that context. This allows a huge degree of flexibility. Some centers, for example, will meet for a concentrated period of 1 week. Other centers choose to meet on a Friday and a Saturday. Others will again choose maybe just a Saturday morning. In each case, though, this flexibility allows us to train men in their situation. It allows men to continue to work in their jobs, continue to work in their churches, while being properly trained. The other key is that MINTS encourages low overheads. It's been a history of missions that when Western missionaries have come, they have put a great deal of money into overheads, buildings and plant and equipment. The MINTS model is to encourage men to use existing facilities, so creating no overheads. We meet in schools, in houses and in churches. This means that there are practically no costs involved with setting up and administrating a local MINTS center. We find in practice that the biggest costs are internet printing of the materials. All of our materials are fully written out when we send them to the students or when we come in to lecture with them, and they are responsible for printing those centers out. MINTS then works with a partnership deal, and this is the second phase, the teaching phase of MINTS. MINTS enters into a partnership deal with the local coordinator. For their part, they deal with local administration. For our part in MINTS, we provide the academic and theological framework in order for them to pursue a proper degree structure. Our big aim is to train up men that they might in their turn take that knowledge and utilize it to the building up of the church. In order to do this, we run 3 or 4 particular programs. We start with a certificate program. The certificate program is a bridge. It allows men with absolutely no academic background to be able to get a foundation of education which will then allow them on to the bachelor's course. The certificate can also be used for training elders and other people within the church who would simply like to increase their theological knowledge. The second is we run a US bachelor's program. That's 120 credit hours, run over a 5 to 6 year period. We continue to supply them with material. We supply them with the standards. We make sure those standards are adhered to by auditing them from time to time. And through this process, the men can go on to earn an associate degree and then can go on to earn a full degree themselves. We also offer a master's degree. This is a standard US master's comprising of 19 courses, 3 credit hours each, plus in addition, we give them a thesis. The first thesis that they develop is a commentary on a book of the Bible. This gets them writing and applying the truth into their context. One of our key values as we help them is to develop good, sound biblical theology, but within the context of their local operating environment. We want men to take the best theology they can and apply it in Africa, in the Caribbean, in Central America, and in South America. And we recognize that in each of these areas there are differences on issues which come up, different challenges to the gospel, and simply different ways of thinking about things. MINTS deliberately tries to contextualize the material so that it will have the greatest impact and meet the needs and the issues in each of these local centers. One of the things that MINTS offers, and this is the fourth part of the degree structure, is a D-Min. This is a vital part of our program. The D-Min is 5 papers. Those papers are actually courses that students are required to write. By getting the students to write these courses, once they've been properly trained and once they are theologically sound, by getting them to write these courses, we find that we can create a properly relevant, contextualized theology. They begin to write, they understand the culture, they understand the issues, and as they interact with the theology that they've been taught, so they can produce excellent materials. We help them to do this. One of my jobs in MINTS is as a supervisor for the D-Min program. I assist those particular students to make sure that the standard of their education, as well as the theological content, is biblical and accurate. Once they've produced this new theology in the sense of that they've applied the Bible to the context that they're in, if we approve that becomes one of our core courses. In this way, those core courses are then taught at that particular center. Further, all of our material that we produce is put up onto the web. Once it's been accepted as a legitimate MINTS course, we publish it on our website. It can then be taken and used at any of the other MINTS centers worldwide. In this way, we're developing properly contextualized theology in Africa, in Eastern Europe, in Central Asia, South America, and in the Caribbean. The great aim of MINTS is to create self-sustainable centers. Because of our low cost and extreme flexibility in running localized centers the way we do, these centers begin by being owned and controlled by the indigenous populations. They are contextual. And as we grow and as we build each center, and as each center begins to contribute itself through the D-Min program, so we get a greater depth of theology in each area. And finally, they can be replicated. Unlike big building projects that cost thousands of dollars, or hundreds of thousands or even millions of dollars, our centers can start other centers at very, very low cost. Throughout this whole process, MINTS controls the theology that is happening in these areas. We make sure that our core courses become the bedrock of their theology. When they write courses and when they develop their own courses, we're part of that process, making sure that they are both academically sound and theologically accurate. Finally, when MINTS programs are running, our job begins to slow down and becomes one of an audit. Once a year, we do annual audits of these centers to make sure that they are fulfilling all of the requirements so that we can grant proper degrees from the state of Florida. If you'd like any more information about MINTS, please look at the website www.mints.edu. All of our courses can be found online, as well as how to start a MINTS center. There are also registration documents and everything else that you need to develop a MINTS center. If you'd like to support MINTS in any way, again, please contact us via the website at mints.edu. When we provide these materials, we do not charge. We are missionaries. We raise our funds as all missionaries do. In that respect, we are self-supporting. This allows us to be able to reduce the costs of master's and bachelor's and doctoral level training to such a level that they can be done in the third world or the developing communities. Our standards are always increasing, and we would encourage you to contact us and to find out more. Thank you.